You ever had one of those days where you are at the end of your rope? You're at work and the job is hard. The boss is terrible. The boss is riding you hard and you just can't stand it anymore. You sit there and you look out the window and you fantasize about what you could be doing instead. Or you're out on the job site and you see people that seem to just be loving life, going out and just doing whatever they want. And you think to yourself, wouldn't it be great if I could just say, you know what? F you. I am out of here. You drive away for lunch and you never come back. F you. I have felt that way myself many times over my career. And that's what we're going to talk to you about today. We're going to talk about FU money. We're going to talk about what it is, why you would want it, and some simple strategies of how you could get it. Hey everybody, it's David from David in Progress, where we talk about financial independence, retiring early, and living your best life from the perspective of someone who is doing his best to do it right now. Well, I remember when I first encountered FU money, and I did think of it that way. I thought, when I'm in that angry mood and I've had enough of work, wouldn't it be great if I could just say, F you, I am out of here, in the context of how you might be thinking about it? Well, eventually I changed my mindset and I thought of it in a different light. I think of it more as a freedom unlocked. When would I get to the moment where I could unlock my personal freedom to leave what I have to do to go out and do what I want to do? And freedom unlocked is different than financial independence. And let me tell you why I think that. For FU money, that is a step on the way to FI money. FU money is when you have enough in your savings and investments that if something were to happen, you're going to be okay. I read the other day that 1 in 5 of us here in the United States have zero savings. Can you believe it? I also read that 53% of us don't have enough to cover a $1,000 emergency. FU money is not that. You got to be prepared for the oh crap moments. So if you don't have the emergency fund, if you're in that 53% or that 1 in 5, you're not FUing anybody. So I am not talking about that. You got to take care of that first step first. FU, freedom unlocked money, is when you have enough in funds, and let's say you want to take a year off because you have a dream to hike the Appalachian Trail. And so you have the freedom to go to your boss and say, hey, I'd like to take a year off. I don't want any pay or anything during this time. I'll be fine. And can I have a job when I come back? Well, maybe you can do that. Maybe you have this dream to travel the world and take a couple years off. Well, thanks to having freedom unlocked, you can do it. Well, what if you have that job that really sucks? Where the job is terrible and you just absolutely hate it. You don't know what to do. But you have enough FU money that you feel comfortable that you can quit. You can take some time off to get some retraining and just figure out life and do a reset. To me, that is the basics of FU money. Now, you may consider it to be when you are FI, when you're completely financially independent, and that's okay too. For me, honestly, that's partly where I was. When I got to my FU moment is when I got on the savings calculator and I realized that we were at the point that thanks to compounding, if I waited long enough, we would reach the point where we could retire and retire comfortably on a regular schedule. It became a bigger FU when I realized we were on the path to the rule of 55 where we could retire early. Your definition is probably different than mine. Your definition is probably different than the person next to you. Key is that you have a picture in your head of what financial freedom looks like, what it looks like when you have freedom unlocked. That's the FU. And I guess you can understand from what I said why that is so important. That once you have it, you're so much better. Your life is better. You're potentially even a better employee because you do not have that stress. And you have something that most people do not have. You have choice. You can do what you want and be who you want to be on your terms. So how do you get FU money? Well, if you've watched any of my channel or you watch the other channels associated with FI, you already know what to do, but let's review. You're going to get out of debt, pay off all those consumer credit cards so that you are not working for someone else, where you're not paying debt that you are being held to. You're going to get that debt paid off. You are going to save at a high rate. Once you got the debt done, you're going to start saving, and you're going to save at a high rate. So how do you get the FU money? Well, you already know what I'm going to say. If you're somebody watching this channel and you're watching other financial independence channels, you know the math. You know the formula. You're going to get out of debt. You're going to eliminate all that consumer debt that you might have, if you have any. And you're going to make sure that you get rid of it as quickly as you possibly can. You're going to figure out how much your life costs. And if there are ways to reduce your expenses, you're going to do whatever you can to reduce those expenses. Once you have that figured out, you're going to start saving. And what's really important is that you think about saving yourself first. This is what I mean. You know, a lot of us, because of the debts and the expenses being high and all those things, we get to the end of the month and there's very little left over. And what is left over is what you can save. But we want to reverse that. We want to put the saving first, the paying ourselves first. You deserve it. You're going to pay yourself first because you are the most important. And you're going to set it up to be automatic. And it's gradually going to be building over a long period of time. And you're going to prioritize that saving. So set it up where you are paying yourself first. You want to make it automatic. You wouldn't believe the difference saving just $100 a month. If you can carve out $100 and have that automatically go from your checking account or whatever you use into your investment account, over a period of time, you're going to see that compound. And when that magic moment comes up where you're like, wow, look at that. I have a couple of years of expenses where if I wanted to, I could sell that mutual fund, I could withdraw from that account, however you have it set up, and I am at FU. That is an exciting moment. That is really cool. And then over a very long period of time, you'll finally get to that financial independence part. So J.O. Collins is probably the most famous purveyor of the FU philosophy. And he has well, first of all, I have his book right here. So on that final step, how do you get to FU? I do highly recommend his book, The Simple Path to Wealth. And he has a new book called Pathfinders. No association with me or anything. But he has a great video about FU. And I have to tell you, there were many times sitting there in my cubicle where I had a bad day where I played this video. I have probably seen it a couple of dozen times. So down in the comments, look up the J.O. Collins FU video and watch it. I know you're going to enjoy. So you're going to get out of debt, you're going to understand your expenses, and you're going to start saving. That's the simple formula. So, FU, what does that look like to you? Now, if you think about reaching that freedom unlock point, what does that look like to you? I would love to hear from you. I would love some comments. How you define freedom for yourself. For you, is that only when you reach FI, when you completely don't have to work at all? Or do you have that short-term dream that you think you could do once you reach that point? I would love to hear from you. I also want to thank you for watching my channel, for being a subscriber. I so much appreciate it. It's really motivating to hear from you, to see the comments and to look and see the likes and all those kinds of things. I just can't tell you enough times how much I appreciate you. If you made it this far, please let me encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment, share, all those things that everybody asks you. It really helps me a lot, and I do appreciate you. Thank you for watching.